Hey guys, welcome to that One Time in Rehab podcast. We were voted the third shittiest podcast in the state of Delaware. Thank you, everyone in Delaware. I have an article to read today. It's called The Harm of Depression Humor by Joey Warren. Before I read the article, she has a trigger content warning. This article discusses depression, suicide, and dark humor. Please be advised if you have depression or are sensitive to this kind of content, it might be best to skip this article and read another one. Yeah, I mean, it might be best to listen to another podcast too, if that's the case. Dark humor or jokes about depression have become incredibly popular on social media, especially amongst those in younger generations. These jokes are passed around on Instagram, Reddit, and especially Twitter. Why do people make these jokes? And should they be considered a valid form of entertainment? The next paragraph is it's using an example of a guy posting on Twitter about eating cookie dough and saying he may die from it. I'm not going to read it because it's not worth the fucking time. Rod Martin, a psychology professor at the University of Western Ontario, developed categories for different kinds of humor, one of which he refers to as self-defeating humor. Self-defeating humor is described as having a tendency to amuse others at one's own expense. Self-disparaging humor, laughing along with others when being ridiculed or teased. Using humor to hide one's true feelings from self and others. This kind of humor is widely considered to be a coping mechanism, but a negative one. The things that people say to themselves are the things that they start to believe, especially the negative thoughts. I mean, real quick, even joking about different types of mental illness, if you have mental illness, you're able to, or I feel like you're able to shine a light on the negative things that people don't usually talk about. If you have to make a joke of something, so you don't have to hold it inside. I think it's a good thing. I think it's stupid that someone's saying that you shouldn't make self-disparaging jokes about mental illness. You should embrace your mental illness, laugh about it, make fun of it, treat it, medicate it. The jokes got so dark at one. Oh, here we go. The jokes got so dark at one violin shop in Michigan. I'm going to read that again. The jokes got so dark at one violin shop in Michigan that the owner had to implement a no suicide jokes rule. I wonder if there was a sign on the wall in the violin shop. The younger employees there would attempt to make light of their monetary situation and general disadvantages at life, but would go straight to suicide jokes, according to Sidney Wilson, an employee of the shop at the time. Wilson goes on to recall that when the owner first introduced the rule, they laughed and apologized for the frequency of the joke, making some playful comment or other about kids these days and their lack of a future. However, when the owner insisted that he was serious, their tone changed to shocked disbelief with a not so subtle hint of fear. These are harmful jokes that have become such an integral part of people's humor, but are also exasperating many of the problems that people are already dealing with. If I worked at a violin shop, I would probably want to kill myself. Also, if this is the owner of the shop and all his employees want to commit suicide, he's probably a shitty owner and he runs a shitty store. I mean, it's a violin store. I mean, what other jokes would you make in a violin store besides suicide? It's a fucking violin store. I don't even know why they would put that in the article. It's like a joke. Like, people in a violin store want to kill themselves. No shit. If I worked in a violin store, I'd fucking slit my wrist. Millennials and Generation Z have created a very accepting environment around therapy and mental health issues. With the younger generations are the ones that have brought about such a great acceptance for mental health and therapy. It's odd to see this kind of humor remain so widely accepted. Homophobic, racist, or sexist jokes are considered degrading and horrible. So why are these jokes about our own demise acceptable? These jokes may provide temporary relief for a short laugh, but in the long run, it's devastating to your mental health. You can't, I mean, if I'm making jokes about my own mental health, I could say whatever I want to say about my own mental health, and joking about it makes me feel like it's more acceptable because people know what's going on with me. I mean, fuck, I joke about everything. Why wouldn't I joke about my own mental health? I'm not going to joke about someone else's mental health. I'm not going to go to someone else and be like, you're depressed, pussy. I wouldn't do that. But that's not even what this article says. It's talking about making jokes about your own thing. Have you ever seen 8 Mile? Before Eminem is in the rap battle at the end, and he goes first, and he pretty much lays it all out there that, like, he lives in a trailer with his mom who's a drunk, etc., etc. After he puts it all out there, the guy he's battling has absolutely nothing to say because Eminem already put it out there. So if you've got nothing to hide because you've put everything out there, there's nothing bad anybody could say about you that's going to hurt you because you're okay with it at that point. Last paragraph. While this type of humor can give us a small chuckle or maybe even let us know that there are people out there that feel the same way, it's best to attempt to practice a more mindful brand of humor. We should stop laughing at these jokes and begin analyzing the harmful impact that they could have on people. There is an entire beautiful world of humor. It won't be hard to find something else to laugh at. Also, be sure to check in on the people that make these jokes. It can be a way of coping with mental health and struggles. I would have a line of people at my door. But it can also be a way that people are trying to communicate how they actually feel. God forbid people make a joke about how they actually feel. And the writer, Joey Warren, is a senior in professional and public writing. When not studying, you can find her watching Netflix in her pajamas, advocating for women, LGBT youth, or taking pictures of the squirrels on campus. You could follow her on Instagram at blah, blah, blah. Well, Joey, maybe you should stick to taking pictures of squirrels because this article is stupid. First of all, why would you use a violin shop as an example? I mean, is this supposed to be a joke? Fucking violin shop. And are you a doctor? Who are you to say that making jokes about themselves is a bad thing? I just don't agree with this article at all. And I think Joey Warren should stick to taking pictures of squirrels and watching Netflix in her pajamas. Obviously, she's been doing too much of that because she didn't really do much research behind this article. That's all I got. Have a great day, guys.